Looks like it is up.
We're live? Good.
We are live.
Perfect. Oh man. 20 hours. 20 hours till raid.
And how does that make you feel?
I prepared all week for this. I'm good.
Right.
Like no joke. I've literally been preparing for this all week.
So
inside the game and outside the game.
you guys said y'all are doing like the pre-prep raid tonight. Like Last Wish, I guess is what y'all are doing.
Oh yeah, no. So that's happening, but then IRL I did all the house chores, all the grocery shopping, and then today I was making food. My mom and I were making breakfast burritos and everything.
Nice.
So I didn't have time to make dinner for the wife, and so I was feeding my son, and she went and got us dinner. By the time she came home, I was kind of scrambling to get things together because I fed him, changed him. He finally fell asleep. It was like 10 till I'm like, I gotta go, drop the Cosby's off at the swimming pool. So once I was done with that, came running out of the bathroom and I looked at my wife. I'm like, I only have a few minutes before the podcast. I was like, can I help you? And I ran over to my TV setup.
Yeah.
And before I could say something, just bang, my foot, my last three toes smashed into the side of my very heavy, very full metal TV stand. And she heard the crunching sound of my toes hitting it. Just spent the last 2 minutes hobbling around my apartment trying to get my microphone, my tablet, everything I needed for this all together. She's just borderline laughing because it was hilarious. But yeah.
I don't know if that's the if hilarious is the term I would use for that, man. That sucks.
I was hurting. I punched the wall. It was not in a good place.
Well, shoot, man.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Everybody, welcome to the Speaker Podcast. This is episode 3, and
we're on 3 now. Wow.
Moving, man. It's quick. It goes by quick. It goes by quick. I don't know if this full screen thing is going to work. It's kind of glitching out.
Oh, yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. Anyways, I'm your host, Xcalion, and my co-host, Batsam42 here. Yeah. And 20 hours. We're getting ready. Sam more so than myself. But yeah, they're doing a pre-prep raid tonight. I was just thinking to myself, that's insane. You guys are insane. I would just be resting my mind. Because it's going to be late by the time y'all get that started.
Well, they want to get started at 10 p.m. my time, so that's 11 your time. And they want to we're doing Last Wish.
9 my time, yeah.
And a lot of people in the squad, only a couple of them have done it legit. One of the guys has the title for doing it flawlessly. So the thought process is the people that need to learn it, can they do it without burnout, and can the people who know what they're doing explain it properly? And that's kind of the thought process on that. I think if it's too strenuous and it's too late, then we can all just stop.
For sure.
It's a raid that's already out there before, but that's kind of the mentality. It's the people that are going to lead, can they lead efficiently, and the people that are going to follow, can they listen efficiently?
Right.
So.
And communicate. That's a big one too.
Oh, for sure. And this is a nice way of testing out builds and what works, what doesn't work, what supers work in tandem with others, kind of figure out roles and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 20 hours, I think it was 40 something minutes till I think it's 20 hours right now. Until the raid launches. Very excited. Predictions are it's Kalos is the boss, and it's going to be a Scorn race.
If you guys are I was gonna tell the people real quick, if y'all are curious, go check out Mylan Games on YouTube. He's got a video breaking down why he thinks it's Callus, and it is very interesting and very convincing. Honestly, we've been dealing with a lot of Scorn, okay, and he's got
and they've hinted at something powerful.
They have, and they have. Callus has a reputation with the Scorn now. So it's interesting. It could be a heck of a thing. It looks like Callus finally got his hands on the light, which is what he's wanted this whole time. Only he got it by means of the darkness. So
which
potentially
is more open. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then with the Crown of Sorrows bit they talked about at the end of the Presage mission, that being how he corrupted the Scorn, and then on top of that, Kyle's been tracking him, trying to find him, and then if you've done the new mission, or if you've done any part of the actual seasonal content where Kyle's talking about like, oh, her father's still missing, but then you do the quest for the dead messenger, you find out that the supplies were given by Kalos, and it's like, oh, we could turn on Keitel, and it just making it sound like they're going to ramp up. If it's not this rate, it's definitely going to be very soon.
Right.
Potentially even like one of the season contents. Like that's what's going to happen next if it's not this raid. I am excited. It's going to be a pyramid ship, is what we're jumping into. So if it's not the Scorn and it's not Kalos, I think it'd be a really nice. I think it would be fun if they cherry picked the best encounters from Destiny 1, like from all of those raids. And like these were nightmares to get through, and the pyramid ship remembers that, and like here's what you're dealing with now, which I think could be cool, but we'll see what happens.
It's funny you mentioned that because if you think about it, for everybody that's watching, if you all think about it with your minds, like we've been dealing with the pyramid ships for 2 years now since Shadowkeep. Because we first went inside of a pyramid ship back in Shadowkeep, and that's like Sam mentioned the nightmares. That's whenever we first got in touch with the nightmares, and everything we did inside of that pyramid ship was going through basically the history, fighting bosses from our past, the nightmares, and
good solid strikes is what it was.
Yes, yeah, we fought Taniks again. Fogoth. We fought, of course, Gaul, Crota. Yeah, like some really, really cool encounters that we did there. And so now we've also gone back into the ships and Beyond Light, to get the power of the darkness. But it would be interesting if they took upon that, like what we did back in Shadowkeep, and like he's saying, go through some of those, the raid stuff that we've done previously.
Yeah.
Which
honestly
would be interesting, again, with we know that Scorn's going to be in it. That's pretty certain at this point. I guess there's a chance that they won't be. But imagine going through some of those encounters with Scorn in them now.
Yeah. Because so the idea for that would be if it's not Scorn, maybe it's part Scorn, right?
Right.
Like the pyramid ships landed, and then Savathun's forces are trying to fight their way in. They get about so far, and then the Scorn are just so dug in that's all you're fighting.
Yeah.
That could be something like maybe like the first encounter and a half is you fighting Hive, and then the next couple after that would be Scorn. Other thing, I've been talking about this just in passing since Beyond Light, because when they took out all the content, people were complaining because they dropped about 70% of the game when Beyond Light happened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, honestly, the way to bring that back is we're communicating with pyramid ships. We could make it so that way, the one pyramid ship's trying to talk to us. They gave us the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to keep enticing us and to keep like bringing stuff back, it's like, oh, well, what if Zavala, 801, Banshee, and Anna get them together, and they what's her name?
Elsie.
Not that one, the one in the hangar.
Oh, Amanda Holiday.
Yeah. So you get all the technical people together, and they get the pyramid ship, and like, okay, maybe we can try to reconfigure it. And it's like, well, we can't quite reconfigure it, but here's what we can do: we can plug in the Guardians' memories of how something happened, and then watch the pyramid ship twist it. So that could have been an idea to how they could bring back Vault of Glass and explain encounter changes. But like as things progress darker and darker, like the more we do it, the more and more the raids become corrupt.
Right.
Or like the memories of those things become more corrupt. So like maybe when we're fighting Crota, all of a sudden Siva's in the room. It's like because it's taking the worst parts of the nightmares together. They can honestly they could scramble raids. That would be a lot of fun. But yeah, there's a lot they can play around with it.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see some Siva armor. Honestly, I want hot take. I do not like the way the raid jacket looks.
A lot of people don't.
That's $150 worth of garbage. I was looking at it. I was like, man, all the jackets thus far, no, I'm not a fan.
I've never bought a raid jacket because I live in Texas.
Right.
I wear a jacket like 2 days out of the year. So.
See, I was hoping for like a stellar looking hoodie because I know they did one for what's that one? The dungeon that you could do out of the derelict with the drifter. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Prophecy.
Prophecy.
Thank you.
So that hoodie looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like what I was hoping for. Like I would love to see like an all black with like red trim, like Siva looking hoodie or jacket. I'd buy that.
Oh yeah.
But the jacket they picked out is like a teal looking windbreaker with rainbows in it. I'm like, not that kind of.
Yeah.
It's not my cup of tea. That's a 10 pounds in a 5 pound bag of nope.
Well,
however that expression works, but yeah, no, it's not for me.
Right.
It's not for me. But no, I'm excited for honestly how all this shakes out tomorrow. We've got 2 teams on the ground running the raid. Myself and one team, and Legend another team. So if you're interested in watching either one of us, or even just seeing who can compete faster.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be streaming because and I'll kind of break this down for you guys. All right, like I'm considering myself. Like, we're not doing this as legitimately as Sam's team is. I'm just being real with you guys. We're probably going to get started a little bit after everybody else, honestly, because I think the idea for us is we just want to get the day one completion.
Yeah.
Honestly. So we, I think, are kind of talking about, somebody, watching a stream or, checking out someone else's thing just to kind of see, try to keep everything spoiler free for the most part, but know how to do some of the encounters. And so for those of you watching that have never taken place in something like this, like this is as close as a lot of us get to being in the Olympics. This is it,
that's a real that's a decent.
Hey, Ghostwood, how's it going?
No. Ghostwood, what's going on, man? No, that's really funny to put it that way, because like at no point in time have I ever considered myself an athlete.
Right.
I'm a big guy, but like I can't compete and stuff like that. But to sit down and play a video game for 24 hours, heck yeah, I'll do that.
For sure.
But I do get what you're saying, because it's like it's the best of. I wouldn't say the best of the best, but like when it comes to playing Trials of Osiris, that's not my cup of tea. That's not my forte. I've always referred back to you for that, and I've gotten carried because of that. When it comes to like the new encounters and the new kinds of stuff for raids, this is the closest you're gonna get to a new content drop, because in a way it's you cannot watch YouTube videos once the raid's done after about a week, jump back in the raid with some friends and complete it, but no one knows how this raid encounter is going to go. No one knows an optimal strat. No one knows top DPS. No one knows what we're doing when we walk in the room. 2 years ago for Deepstone Crypt. Was it 2 years? Wow. It's been a minute since
Deepstone Crypt. It's been a year.
Okay,
well,
so about a year ago.
I guess October, of last.
Okay,
of 20.
So when Deepstone came out, doing that for the first time, that was crazy, because all of the encounters, all of the stuff, there was no one telling you what to do. Bungie had leaked all the mods, and they were in the collections, and we could kind of read the mods and kind of have an idea of what we were doing with that.
Yeah.
And that made the first room a little bit easier. I think we were on the first room for about an hour and a half, and then the next room we were on for 9.5 hours. And then the next room finished in no problem. Made it to the final boss fight. It was, I want to say 5 a.m, and one person on our team said, "I'm not doing this," and left. And we couldn't go further than that. So we all had to drop, and like, oh, we'll get back on in a few hours. We knew what we had to do.
Mm-hmm.
We were at DPS phase consistently, and we could do the damage. We just needed that little extra push, and this person thought we could get it done in 2 hours. And when we got back on, it took us an hour just to kind of get the groove back on again, and then we were racing against the clock, and it didn't happen. So that's why the team is a bit more motivated this time around. It's like, we can do this. We'll get in there, open mind, like we can knock this out, and that's kind of getting in there with that. Ghostwood said there are some baseball pitchers.
Pitchers, yeah.
Oh, they call athletes don't sweat it. Oh, thank you. No, Babe Ruth was one of those guys.
Oh yeah,
he was also on a lot of steroids.
He was a husky boy.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Deep Stone was
I could do
interesting.
competitive log chopping. Yeah.
Yeah. Deep Stone was interesting because that was I can't think of another raid that like took all of the encounters like Deep Stone did and said this is how you do the boss fight. Like every encounter built up into the boss fight. And dude, that second room was
brutal.
It was a doozy. You know, I was watching Glad and Astacross do that. And you. And like the first room was a cinch, the third room was a cinch compared to the second room. And
that was the raid stopper. If your team couldn't get past the second room, if the encounter didn't break you, it was the how long it took. So to do the damage phase, it took you 4 rounds, and when you got to that 4th round, the boss was already enraged. There was no way to speed up the DPS because we were capped at light. They made it that way, and it either broke your spirit or it broke your team because you either couldn't keep up with the DPS consistently, or like the mechanics took us forever to figure out.
And I can't remember, was the Lament out yet, or did that come out later?
No, that was what dropped right after the raid.
Right,
that's what made the raid easier. Yeah. Man. So if we had Lament, it would have made it easier. But that's the point. Like, I'm thinking the exotic glaives are probably going to be something that drops after the raid. But honestly, yeah, that's probably what excites me the most, is just trying to figure out something for the first time. I love figuring out puzzles. I love that kind of stuff in video games, right? Escape rooms are fun because you can kind of like figure out certain. I would love to see an escape room in Destiny.
Ooh,
like, have that be a dungeon. Have that be a dungeon, though. Not a raid, a dungeon.
You know, I think I can't remember what it was called now, but there was that technically, I think they kind of considered it a dungeon, but it was that mission where you got Outbreak perfected in the tower.
Yeah, I could see that.
And there was some escape room-esque elements to that. That was one of my favorite things that they've done in Destiny 2. And let me see.
There was a lot that went on in that was all timed.
Yeah.
And if you had to knock out certain things in a certain amount of time, and then the heroic version of that was even worse, because if you didn't nail it, if you didn't hit certain benchmarks at certain times, like you were done.
Exactly. But yeah, it's very cool. Ghostwood commented again. Second room was the anvil that broke so many it was utterly brutal spectating and trying to analyze the mechanics. For real, it was.
Yeah.
You know,
so
just watching it, you couldn't get it. You really had to participate and be in it. And yeah.
With it doing the day one on that one specifically, that was so brutal because of how long it took us when we were stuck in one room.
Yeah.
We swapped through so many different kinds of weapons. We watched a bunch of different people streaming it. We were stuck on that room until World's First got done.
Yeah.
That's how long it took us, our team, in that room. I mean, we weren't. It was our first attempt at a World's First.
Right. Everybody there, yeah.
And I don't think we're going to get World's First tomorrow. We're just hoping to place.
Yeah.
You know, just get the emblem. That's what we're going for.
And that's it, right? And if you guys out there are not concerned about getting the day one emblem, then honestly, just don't even worry about it. And wait until Sunday. Sunday will be literally 10 times easier. 10 times easier. Your power level is going to matter. You know, like right now, contest mode. So contest mode, what that means is they're saying the recommended power level is 1530. So you have to be that level to even participate. And then
once we decide to enter.
Right, and then once you get in there, every encounter that you do is going to be, your light level is going to be capped at 20 under that. So you're always going to be at least 20 power level under what the recommended power level is for all of the encounters. And you are going to be getting some higher level gear when you're doing this, you know, finishing the encounters and equipping that, or, you know, infusing it, whichever. But it's really, I'm gonna be real whenever I say this. It's not for the faint of heart, just because it does take a really huge amount of dedication to do this. And if you don't feel like you're going to be able to give it that, then you're just going to be a detriment to your team. No disrespect in saying that, but that's the reality of it.
And it's no shot at anybody, honestly. There's the casual players who just, you want to play casually the entire time. There's no problem with being that. Unfortunately, that's probably what's going to end up happening to me.
Yeah.
I'm very much I love to be in it. I want to do day ones. I want to be there because I love figuring stuff out for myself. But if anything, the run up to Witch Queen has shown me just how far that is starting to like go for my grasp.
Yeah.
I'm a father now. I got a 3-month-old, and doing all the chores and all the cleaning and everything just to be able to do the day ones that my wife has been very generous and very grateful. I've been very grateful for how she's been able to like, oh, go ahead and do day one, go for it. It happens once a year, not a problem.
Yeah.
I can do a double duty on a day one. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna make sure everything's done. I did all the cooking, all the cleaning. I made meals all day today. I'm ready.
Yeah. Good for you.
But it's something that I didn't want to hold back people who were going for that day one. When we committed to doing this day one, I didn't know we were pregnant yet, and I said I would be in it. So this is just the build up to it. Right. In the future, I don't know if I can commit to this. I want to say that I can, because my son's gonna get older and he can spend the night at somebody else's house and it'd be fine. But it happens once a year. I want to say I can be committed to this, but I don't know. Ghostwood said, "Brave of you for sticking with it," and no, thank you.
No thanks.
Yeah, no, it is very difficult, honestly. But if you have the right team, if you have the right people, it can be a good experience. Being in it the way I was in it was not. The very first time was not the greatest, just because of how it wasn't a ton of fun.
Yeah.
We had a lot of people that were kind of just thrown into it, and attitudes and everything, but we're getting better about it. Even the stuff going on with Witch Queen, there's been a lot of stuff coming up with that, but honestly, we're all adults, and
yeah,
if it can't be handled this way, then it's going to be handled another way.
Right.
Because honestly, at the end of the day, it's a video game. Destiny 2 is a great game that I'm here to play with friends. I've met a lot of great people from all over the United States and all across the world. Love playing this. I can see myself playing this for a long time to come. And then I'm here to play with friends.
Yeah.
So
and to have a good time doing it.
Exactly. And honestly, this is what excites me. It's the hype. It's talking about like what's going to happen next. And honestly, this upcoming figuring out what we're supposed to do for the raid is super exciting. I know you had talked a little bit about yesterday about what was going on with the TWAB and like what's being banned and what's the expectation for the raid. So why don't you walk us through some of that?
Oh man, it's interesting. So
I see you have the TWAB pulled up.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up here, and gonna open it up here for everybody else to be able to kind of get a better idea. But it's this week at Bungie 3/3/22. It's all about the Vow of the Disciple World's First Race. So that's what it's called, the Vow of the Disciple. Very cool. What a wild week it's been. It feels like just yesterday we were announcing the Witch Queen, and now we find ourselves on the doorstep of the world first race with the weekend that many of you have been waiting for, strategically planning your power gains and grabbing armfuls of snacks from the grocery store shelves. Mm-hmm. And under 2 days at this point in time, the race begins. Let's get you up to speed. So,
all right. So real quick, before you scroll down, back up.
Yep, right
so
there.
Right there, that banner, you see that crest on top of the ship?
Yeah.
That's Cabal.
Well, that's definitely. Whenever I first saw that, the first thing I thought of was Keitel.
Yeah, no, yeah. It looks like a Cabal part of a Cabal ship, or just like some of like the crests they have on their helmets.
Cabal architecture there, yeah, all around.
So I just wanted to point that out. That's what I'm thinking. It's definitely got to be. There's going to be some Cabal in it, or at least maybe Kalos.
Yeah.
Continue.
No, you're good, man. So it's Vow of the Disciple. That's what it's called. They have the trailer here for it. I'm not going to play that. And I'm going to skip through a lot of the big stuff, or not the big stuff, the small stuff, and just kind of get to the details.
Right. So they're just talking about how it's a puzzle mechanic thing. Yeah. If you've never done a raid before, this is what you're kind of going to expect. I mean, I imagine most of our viewers are somewhat familiar with Destiny. Honestly, right. A raid is the end game competitive scene for PvE players. This is what you want to do.
Yes.
Whenever time to do stuff. So
I'm going to read Ghostwood's comment real quick before I continue. I'm not a prolific raider, but having done quite a few at least once, a day one race seems like an entirely new form of discovering chemistry and cohesion amongst even a long-standing fire team. That is exactly right, and that's what makes them so fun and exciting.
Yeah, so, you know, when you're cooking something and you're boiling water and it brings out all the impurities and it, you know, cleans the water, that's kind of what happens when you get a bunch of people in the room who, you know, normally don't spend an exorbitant amount of time together other than just, you know, having a good time.
Yeah.
Because then you really find out what people's personalities are. Like, do you take charge? Do you listen? When you get upset, do you stay quiet? Do you be vocal, or do you know, become nonsensical?
Yeah.
Do you just start drinking, you know, like a maniac and lose all semblance of motor control while we're trying to do something competitive? Yeah, this is where kind of like rubber meets the road. Like, is your team strong in the game and outside the game? So it doesn't have to be prolific if that, but, you know, gaming is gaming.
So we're going to continue on here. It was announced last week that the power cap is 1530. The Valve the Disciple race timeline starting Saturday, March 5th at 10 a.m. Pacific and ending Sunday, March 6th at 10 a.m. Pacific. That is reset time, of course, for both days. Contest mode will cap all players at 20 power below each encounter of the raid for the full 24 hours of the race. Artifact power is enabled, but only provides benefits to players up to the cap of 1530 power for contest mode. You'll want to reach 1530 power by Saturday to have a fighting chance in each encounter. And a fighting chance, that's oof.
that's really cutting it close.
That's really generous there for them to say that.
I mean, it's essentially Grandmaster for every encounter. Like, if you're not familiar with a Grandmaster Nightfall, like, that is what you're up against for the entire time. Like, your build's got to be spot on.
Right. Some gear items will be disabled in the raid for the duration of contest mode due to general issues that could provide gameplay benefits. While these items may be used in other activities, perks and functionality on the following items will be nullified within the Valve the Disciple raid, with additional negative impacts to power levels if equipped. Weapons. Xcalions SMG. That is your original, your Xcalions SMG, and for whatever reason, it got that and the Imperial Needle Legendary Bow both got the buffs, the exotic buffs. They were passed out.
They think they're exotics. Honestly, if you're not using them right now just to clear normal content, you are missing out.
You really are.
They are smacking right now.
Yeah.
And I guess I should clarify. They got the buff to red bar enemies. So all exotics that use primary ammo are doing more damage to red bars, just trash mobs. That is what the buff they got. They're able to clear trash mobs easier. The reason why the exotics got that is because for the legendary mode, for the storyline, they wanted a balance. They wanted you to feel like you could use more primary exotics.
Exotic primaries, yes. Yeah.
To tank out and get to that area. But if you did legendary campaign, there was a mixture. So you never were overwhelmed with red bars, but you had something good there. For raid is going to be a lot of red bars coming at you, and then
all the time,
obviously your bosses and everything else.
Yeah.
So having these two things disabled, gotta have to rethink some strategies.
It's interesting. Xcalions Imperial Needle, the new Grand Overture exotic machine gun. That's interesting.
I actually like that one a lot.
I haven't used it yet. I've got it, but I haven't used it. And the Wardcliffe Coil exotic rocket launcher, which of course, being a void rocket launcher, can take
arc.
Is it arc?
Wardcliffe Coil is arc.
Why is everybody talking about it being useful with volatile rounds? I thought it was void.
I don't know. Nope, it's arc.
Oh, okay. All right, that's my bad. Okay.
No, you're good.
It feels like I knew that at some point, but
I think that one also got a buff, but it was overbuffed, and I think it does proc with volatile rounds, and that's the reason why.
Okay, so that's why it's bugged.
It's being removed. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that makes sense then. All right, moving along here. Armor mods and armor and mods. Poor Titans. Worm God Caress, Titan Exotic Gauntlets. Paragon Greaves, Titan Exotic Legs. And, to everybody's dismay, Suppressing Glaive Artifact Armor mod, which Funnily enough, today actually got totally disabled.
Because of how broken it is. And we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
Also, I do find it's hilarious that the 2 Titan exotics are being removed because Titans break everything.
I mean,
smash. That's a low-hanging fruit joke. A bunch of Titans in the comments are laughing. It's fine. Throw some crayons their way. They're good. But the suppressing glaive
was here.
Oh yeah, suppressing glaive was as soon as we saw it, I was like, oh, that could be fun. But then every single melee strike you did also procced it, which that part,
right?
That's the disgusting part. I think if they just took it off of the melee aspect and only when you shoot something, I think that'll be worth it. But even then, it's still really good.
It's been totally disabled, so they're clearly going to nerf it somehow.
But I think that's how they could nerf it.
I mean, maybe they're not going to do a full sweeping make it totally unusable nerf.
Oh, for sure.
They're gonna.
Yeah.
You're probably right. Just take it away from the nerf, or just make it on succession hits. Not just one melee.
Get 3.
You're right.
Yeah,
right,
but if you're going to commit to being in there, you're already in there.
Yeah.
Because think about it like this: if you get the new Titan one or the new Warlock one, throw yourself down a healing turret, or throw yourself a bubble, and then you're smacking them 2 or 3 times. Yeah, it's going to be suppressed.
Yeah.
So the way you fix that problem is you take it away from the swings and you put it to the gun.
Yeah.
That's how you fix that, because if you're committed, you're closing the gap. You're already on top of them.
Right.
And if they pop back up, then you have to back up and shoot a couple times, but then you can't hit anyone else around you. You're just focused on the one.
Yeah.
So that'll make the going invisible, dodging in front of them, meleeing them until, dead combo for the hunters go away.
Listen.
Not that I thought there was a bad combo. I thought it was a great combo. Hunters are always figuring out the ways of being the most optimal piece of garbage in the game.
Wow.
Yeah. You heard me.
There's clearly,
heard it here first.
Clearly no bias there at all. Oh my goodness.
No, it's because everything the Warlocks gets nerfed.
A note: additional items may be disabled if issues are found. Stay tuned. Bungie Help on Twitter for the final list published on Saturday morning. So if you are going for it, check out at Bungie Help on Twitter, just to make sure that your loadout's not going to be
nerfed. Yeah.
That's
because that's a good point. Yeah.
That's
make sure you're gonna check. Make sure your team is geared up and ready to go for all that stuff.
Man. Moving on. Completion. The first team to complete all encounters, loot the final chest, and return to orbit will earn the title of World's First. And I wanna clarify. I went over the TWAB yesterday in a video, and one of my followers on there mentioned that the reason that you've got to return to orbit is because officially the encounter does not end until everyone is out of the raid. So that makes a lot of sense. And
it stamps it that you finished the encounter, but the encounter still runs in the background.
Right. So
which is why for Nightfalls and stuff, it boots you to orbit.
So if you happen to be if you happen to be on the team that gets this done, finish it, get your crap and get out. All right. We're talking about closing hours, right? It's closing time. Get your crap and get out.
Right. If you want to spend your spoils or conquest on something, do it tomorrow when the raid's way easier to get there.
Do it Sunday.
Just get out.
Oh man.
Can you imagine your team fought and struggled to get there, and then Jimmy had to go to the bathroom, and so you're waiting on him to get back, and you lost World's First?
No, Jimmy goes to the bathroom. I'm sorry, Das Boot. Yeah.
Or someone's a little itchy on the trigger finger and boots him before they can loot the final chest, and it's disqualified. You spent all year preparing for this, and then bang!
Looks like your 5-man fire team got the completion.
What happened to Jimmy?
Well, Jimmy was a numbskull. Let's be honest here. We're gonna continue on now. If there's any Jimmys out there, I sincerely apologize.
You know what you did, Jimmy.
You know what you did, though. Note: the 6 Fire team members present upon the completion of the final encounter will be declared the winners and will be awarded Raid World First title belts. Any member of the fire team who leaves during earlier encounter completions will not qualify. So you've got to be there for all of the raid. Winners will be announced. Sorry.
Very good.
I was going to say winners will be announced at Destiny of the Game via Twitter after the validation process. More details on that below.
So that means, you know how like some of the strats for some Nightfalls is leave the encounter, come back with heavy ammo, do that and you're done.
Yeah.
You cannot leave during this encounter. You cannot switch teammates and you cannot switch characters. When you load into the raid, it is with that same fire team and that same class of character you're playing. You don't switch Hunter to Warlock or Titan while you're fighting. Or like, oh, this will work better. Let me switch. If you do that, you've lost your chance at World's First. Really, really, really terrible idea there.
Just don't do it, right? That's all there is to it.
Exactly.
Just don't do
it. I mean, who doesn't want this, plastic belt?
So I'm gonna don't get the wrong idea about this belt right off the rip, but it does say art to be updated after World's First completion. So
it's to not give away anything.
This is not the final. It'll be probably like a kind of like a picture-esque of the boss or whatever, like something.
Or just like the symbol for the raid.
Symbol, yeah. But yeah, it's cool. We'll have your name on it. That's cool. So, and then after that, they basically say that, they're going to be watching Twitch. You can watch Twitch at Destiny the Game, where you can tune into whoever they're watching at the time. Full rules and legal terms can be found here. If you complete the contest mode version of Vow the Disciple during the first 24 hours, you'll receive a unique emblem to celebrate your victory, which is here.
Also not super thrilled about that one.
I'm not like none
it's
of,
very very simple.
Yeah, it's kind of generic, but I guess emblem ideas, they're a dime a dozen.
Yeah, and honestly, they're constantly coming out with that kind of stuff. It's like, oh yeah, we can come up with a design.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. If I have it, I'll wear it. But I mean, my emblem is 801's face, and that's the one I've had for forever. So.
And it makes sense for you, honestly.
It does.
All right, so Jacket Quest. Look at that jacket.
Look at it. Look at this pile of jacket. Not about it. Not about it, Legend.
Just I'm gonna need that.
Okay, look. When you zip it up,
yeah.
When you zip it up, it looks okay.
I gotta ask, how long did it take Blood to get his jacket, his DSC jacket?
6 months.
Okay, so by the time, so it'll be in the middle of summer by the time I get it.
No. He got, so by the time he ordered it, it processed 6 months later. He got it this winter.
Oh, he got it just in time for winter.
Yeah, he got it a full year later. Now, they do tell you right off the bat when you go to the Bungie store, Bungie Rewards store, and you look at this jacket. It's $150 for the jacket. You can get your clan tag on there, and you can get your player ID on there. So it can be Batsam or Xcalion or, anything, like whatever your current tag is. You can have that on the jacket, and it's really cool looking. I would want a cooler looking jacket.
You know what? I'm sold.
Or a hoodie.
I'm sold. If I can put Xcalion on it, I'm sold.
Yeah. Yeah, but still, so the cool things about it, right? On the, if you're looking directly at this picture, it's on the right, but it would be my left. It's the raid sticker. You get the raid emblem on the side. And then on the other side, it's the symbol for like what's on the emblem.
Yeah.
So on the screen you can see like the raid symbol from like the banners you put down, and the other side it's the symbol for the raid.
You can
on
see
the bottom
the name tag is right there too, where your name will be.
And then you can see on like the bottom pocket there's like the Destiny symbol. The hood comes off, like it zips off, so it can just be a windbreaker, and it goes in the little baggie that's shown right there. I just can't get down with the color scheme.
Yeah.
Like the inside of the jacket just doesn't sell me. Like the jacket itself, I could go with that weird the real weird beige. I just can't.
And it's got that emblem logo in there, which again, not really a fan of. So
yeah, but if I'm gonna throw down $150 for a jacket, I want it to look good.
That's reasonable. That's an expensive jacket.
Right. And I mean, it's definitely like a staple. Like, man, you did this thing. That's why I'm like, oh, if there's a sick looking hoodie,
Right.
yeah, I'm about that. I'd get a sick looking hoodie with my clan tag on it, with my, my player ID Batsam42. That would be sick. I can't get down with the way this looks. But to each their own. This jacket might be sweet for somebody.
I do like the next part, though, where they mentioned Val the Disciple also be introducing a new pin reward for those who complete the raid before the season concludes. And that's cool. Like, you can, like, if you've already got a raid
collecting the
jacket or
pins.
something. Yeah, collect pins. Yeah, that's always fun. Is this...
But
is
yeah,
this,
you see the...
Is this the actual, like, raid emblem?
Yeah.
Think? Or
yeah. No, that's the pin. It's the 6 ships, the pyramid ship, and then the raid symbol.
Okay.
Pretty cool looking, right?
Yeah, no, I agree.
See the dead tree in there?
Is that what that is?
I mean, that's what it looks like to me. Wasn't there a tree
I see like
ago?
There's a little life. There's some... It looks like it's dead. Looks like some stuff falling off of it.
Yeah. Remember the tree we had a couple seasons ago?
Yeah.
It's all coming
together. The darkness.
Look at how close these fingers are. They're so close. Oh.
Interesting.
All coming together. I could be totally wrong on that too.
Yeah, we'll see, but yeah, we do have a tree. So, and then again, there's the seal pin that you can get if you complete your triumph. That's
there's the tree
always, again. Yeah, there's your tree, allegedly, with all this kind of cryptic stuff up here. It's interesting.
Well, honestly, here, let me break it down for you. That's a cup. There's the goblet. There's the sun. There's a tree.
There's
What happened? What happened in the Callus raid?
Again, it's all. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, cup, sun.
In the Callus raid, there was some of these symbols, and there's some newer symbols there. That top part of the tree right there kind of looks like the Forsaken symbol.
That's interesting. Yeah, I see.
You can kind of break that down.
I see the sun. I mean, there is a lot of cryptic stuff going on.
This is where conspiracy theories are made.
Yeah, no, for sure. Emblems, they tell you a lot, and you can like dive into them for a while.
Honestly, you can look at the picture of this in the top part of that stuff right there. It's like it's the moon.
Yeah.
It's the phases of the moon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like those are the phases of the moon. It honestly could be eclipse because you're eclipsing the sun. The sun was something in the previous one because it's a silhouette of what it used to be. It used to be just a bright sun. It's now a dark one. Could symbolize lightness to dark.
And
there's a lot you can pull from this, and honestly, this can be brought up to interpretation. This is the part. This is why I like day one stuff. I like looking at something and be like, oh, this.
It's gonna be crazy because you're gonna learn something like.
Oh yeah,
like life changing to the game, game changing, I should say.
Yes. I was like, life changing. What?
I'm really invested into Destiny. You have no idea.
Oh, I have some idea. I know what your body pillow looks like.
It's Lord Shax, by the way.
I thought it was Cade. Never mind. It's Eris Morn. That third eye really does it.
Well, she is a hunter.
Yep.
Outside of the race. Don't worry, there isn't a 24-hour timer on any weapons or armor pieces found throughout the raid. Just for completing it a single time, there's a pretty sweet emblem, which I think looks better than the day one emblem.
But see, there you go. Look, here again.
Sun. It's a prism. It's a sun prism. Yeah. This over here looks like potentially like.
The eclipsed sun.
The eclipsed sun. This is clearly a pyramid ship. Yeah, dude, that's intriguing. And are there? Let me see. There's the
2, 4. No, there's more than 6 ships, but it's all the colors.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, no, it's sweet. There's some like cool stuff in there, like because that doesn't necessarily have to be a pyramid ship. That's just pyramid tech. That's the stuff we sat underneath to get the darkness. I mean, honestly, what you could say about this, and this is all I'm grasping at straws here, but between the conversations that Zavala has had, Zavala is very much against the darkness.
Yeah.
His way of looking at things is light good, darkness bad. What is that called? That's called black and white.
Right.
Pyramid ships show up to tell you that darkness isn't so bad. Eris even says, well, the light makes you forget things, but the darkness helps you remind you. And you need both to be an effective guardian. to be able to do the things we've done, you need to have both of these. And having both of them together, bang, you have other stuff going on here. So it could be, again, a lot left to interpretation.
Yeah.
But it could be like, oh, you're seeing more darkness, but you're realizing the darkness isn't so bad. And that's where Lightfall could come in, because honestly, you're like, oh, we're too reliant on the darkness now. That the light leaves us and all we have left is the darkness.
Yeah.
Could be kind of cool. But anyway, yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
Crazy to think about, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm excited for the new armor.
The armor, yes, the armor.
Haven't seen it. The new weapons look pretty cool.
Yeah, the weapons. If the armor looks anything like if it's like kind of like based on like what the weapons are, I mean they could be interesting. We've kind of seen some of the weapons. I want to see what that pulse rifle's all about. Not the exotic one that we've seen.
Just a normal one, right?
Just a normal one. Like I know at some point there's going to be an exotic. I'm not really too concerned about that, considering my Vault of Glass completions it took for me to get. Vex. So I'm not really concerned about that right now. I'm just gonna, if I get it, I get it. This is me. Yeah. This is me putting good vibes out there. So yeah, but that other pulse, yeah, for sure. And I think there's another SMG, and a fusion.
There's a grenade launcher. There's a glaive. There's
yeah, and
there's quite a few things in this one.
Honestly, like for me, I'm just like that pulse and that fusion rifle, like got me sold.
I want an auto rifle. We haven't gotten a raid auto rifle in the last 2 raids. Vault didn't have one.
No. Well, no. I guess we haven't gotten one since Reckless Oracle.
Mm-hmm. How long it's been.
Which is a great garden.
Yeah.
Moving on. The feedback never stops. This is basically where they're just going to tell us about some of the changes.
The issues.
They're looking at issues. Yeah. Wellspring weapon drop rates. Once you've completed the Witch Queen's campaign and begun to engage in the end game, a new activity appears in the Throne World called the Wellspring. This is a fun 6-player match-made activity offering offensive and defensive variants of the activity on a daily rotation. In the Wellspring, players can earn 4 Throne World themed weapons, which offering a variety of perks to mix and match for some fun combinations. Each of these weapons can be crafted, and some of these are acquired for progress on evidence board quests for the Enclave, from the Enclave. And a patch targeting next Thursday, we will be increasing the drop chances for both standard and deep sight resonance versions of these weapons.
So the reason why this is super important, in order to get the crafting recipe for the new glaives, for all of the classes, you must finish all of these quests in order to get the new glaive. We are pretty confident in the fact that when the new raid drops, the last thing is going to unlock, because it says it's currently not in the game yet. Once that unlocks, you finish all that out, then you have the quest for your glaive.
Yeah,
that's what happened with Lament. It's it's a nice system, honestly. But if you haven't got on top of this, this is the time to get on top of this.
Right.
The fun thing is it rotates every day, defense or attack. So that's, some of them only drop on defense, and some of them only drop on attack.
I think today is attack, by the way, if you're curious.
Yes. So, I haven't been on at all today.
Right. Neither have I. Well, I mean, of course, I literally got off of work, got home, and got on. So
yeah, it's been a day.
Let's see. Moving on is the important one, Ascendant Alloys. As you get deeper into the crafting game of the Witch Queen, you'll begin to unlock enhanced traits for your weapons. These come at a bit of a cost, each requiring Ascendant Alloys. These currencies are meant to be an endgame rarity, coming from higher difficulty activities as you fine-tune your weapons through combat. In addition to the changes mentioned above, you'll be increasing your chances of receiving Ascendant Alloy through Master Wellspring completions, not just by the difficulty tier of the activity, but also based on your completion level. This will mean higher chances at earning Ascendant Alloys for Gold and Platinum completions, which can be earned by defeating champions and completing the activity quickly. We will be continuing to monitor and adjust drop rates as the season progresses, because right now it seems like it's pretty bugged.
It is. Like Raul was supposed to sell you one at the beginning of each reset, has not sold me a second one this week.
Right.
This, and I can see why they're like, oh, this is supposed to be a master level, like end game content stuff, because those extra perks basically make your weapon adapt without the adapt mods. The perks that you can put in give you additional effects, like Rampage will last longer. That takes a mod slot.
Yeah.
Normally. Loot to shoot gives you more ammo off of looting.
Freaking auto-loading holster gives you increased stability. Like,
yeah, so all of these extra little things, they stack. Crafting your own raid weapons is going to be ridiculous because you have all of these new perks coming into play, and whenever they introduce a raid, there's always some kind of new raid perks. There's going to be new perks. There's going to be new frames for them. And they can level. So this means
I want to take the floor
when
just a second, by the way.
What's up?
You go ahead. You finish. I want to take the floor.
Once you've gotten like these new raid weapons, you have a full year before the next big raid comes out, or potentially whenever they release Crota. These will be instrumental in moving on to the next raid, or we wait for the master level of this raid and get the better ones. But the perks make all the difference. Every little bit helps you in the end.
Mm-hmm. So I have an idea, and this is why I'm so excited about this pulse rifle. Many people that have watched my YouTube channel for a while, like my favorite weapon in the game is the Messenger, my adept one. It's my baby. I love that gun so much. Desperado, whenever they brought it back to the game and they put it on that gun, it changed me as a man. Now.
He became a better man because of it.
Right. Like I became a better father for somehow. I don't know.
Every time he kills somebody, you hear just Desperado. Usually for me and Blood.
That's
his
literally
teammates.
he's not wrong. But I have a theory. So we know by looking at the database there is an enhanced Desperado in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But why? You see.
You
see, so I'm thinking potentially, hopefully, maybe we'll see. But this pulse rifle in the raid is actually going to be a high impact frame, and that being that it can slot Desperado on it, and also there is a oh shoot, what's the other one? The one for the fusion rifles that's on Null Composure, Reservoir Burst. There's an enhanced Reservoir Burst, and we have that fusion as well. So
these are great things coming.
Yes, and also explosive light, and there is that grenade launcher. So and right now explosive light
and the rocket launcher.
Grenade launcher. I don't think there is a rocket launcher. Is there? I don't think there is.
Look. No, there is one. There is one coming for the raid, I think.
Is there? I know. I just know there's explosive light. Originally, explosive light was on the Wendigo GL, which was amazing. It was borderline broken.
They're slowly bringing back all of these ritual weapons in different ways.
Yeah.
They're bringing back the perks. So that way, like, those weapons no longer are the only ones that have it. Now everybody can kind of roll with them, which is honestly a nice system.
So, though that's my ideas. I hope I'm right, but we'll find out tomorrow. That excites me. Oh, that excites me.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow we see all this.
Ghostwood mentioned great points. I'm out, guys. Great listening to y'all. Love the content. And again, good luck tomorrow. I'll be tuning in. Ghostwood, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely, man.
All right. So let's Gambit tuning. Let's continue on here.
Honestly, like, Gambit tuning aside, like, they're just upgrading the heavy ammo, the invader frequency, and then the primeval's health.
Yeah.
I don't mind going over this maybe even just next time. Today's kind of all about the raid.
Yeah.
Gambit's fun. If you haven't played it yet, try it. They definitely shook it up quite a bit, and they're still like working on it. That's kind of it on that.
Yeah.
The ammo economy is pretty nice, but so they're still making it easier.
Yeah, Gambit's interesting right now, from what I hear. I say that because I haven't actually played a game yet, and I need to because I want my God-rolled servant leader. So I'm probably going to dive into that here in a little bit, actually, while wife's out with the kids at baseball practice. So I might jump into that. But yeah, we're going to keep this at the raid. The next part is just talking about your prime rewards. And right now, if you don't already have a hard light, your prime rewards, basically, you sign up with Amazon Prime and you get one Twitch sub per month that you can use, your Prime sub, and use that on you can use that on Bungie. Basically, you hook up your Bungie account to your Twitch account. Is that right?
Yeah,
that's the way you do it, and you get rewards that go to Amanda Holiday in game. and this month is the hard light. And I'm just going to tell you, hard light's really good right now, like inside of PvE, really good. So
you can bounce it off the floor. It does more damage.
Bounce it off the floor. It does more damage. It can swap between your damage types, and it's also overload right now. Overload auto
and then
rifle.
the range, the damage drop off on that's pretty forgiving.
No, it doesn't have damage drop off.
Yeah, well, no, it does now.
Oh, it does. Oh, that's
it used
right.
to. It used to. For Crucible, it was just broken because you could bounce it off of the walls.
Yeah.
So they started nerfing it, and they nerfed how much damage you could do off of the bounces. So they fixed it a little bit. It's great for PvE, especially with some of these like tight cornered rooms when you're fighting for the story missions. I mean, that's what I was using, because there was that one mission where you had to fight the Scorn, where you're getting, you were doing an objective. Again, still keeping it spoiler free until maybe next week, where we can actually talk a little bit more about everything. Because I'm assuming, by now people would have finished it, but it's like the third mission. But there's a room where everything's tight. It's a big circle. Just firing it into the wall, it was bouncing off, killing everybody. It was really nice. And then you had to kill 3 different people with 3 different elements. So I was like, oh, here we go.
Yep.
So,
yeah, it's interesting. But so that's available via Prime Games. You can also get an ornament. You get a sparrow. You get a ghost.
Projection.
Projection. Thank you. God, you're smart.
I don't know what this means.
All right, moving on. I think that's actually they talk about Steam Deck. I'll just go over that real quick. Steam Deck it just came out very recently. A lot of people excited about it. You hook it up to your Steam account, and that's how you can play Destiny on it. But SteamOS and Linux are currently not supported by Bungie, and so what that means is people were getting on there, and they were able to basically go into the game's UI and enhance things and basically turn on God mode. So they are handing out bans left and right for people playing the game. Not even cheating, but playing the game on Steam Deck. Don't try it. Don't do it. They will ban you for it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you go in and you're playing the game legitimately. They will ban you for it, so just don't do it.
Yeah, it violates their codes of conduct.
Exactly.
Even if you're, like Legend said, even if you're just playing legitimately, why ruin it for yourself? I mean, I know Stadia was a really big letdown, and that was like the option to be able to play the game everywhere. Give it a few weeks, figure it out, and then jump on it. You don't need to ruin it for yourself now.
Right, and it says very specifically down at the end, it says, while we investigate possibilities of support for new and future platforms, we do not have any additional information at this time. So we don't even have anything.
It's gonna be a minute.
It'll be a minute for sure. But I mean, look, guys, it's freaking 2022. I can talk to my grandma on a video call, 1,000 miles away. Like it's the.
We
future.
can find another way to play the game.
Just be patient. It'll be available eventually.
I mean, with the technology you have now, you can FaceTime yourself on your gaming chair while holding the controller for the PlayStation.
Hell yeah.
Take a bath or take a dump and be playing the game.
Sniper, what's up?
Sorry. Or just just use your mobile phone with the app and play.
Sniper,
yes.
I'm going to be real with you. You missed some of the raid talk, but we're not done yet. We still got a few minutes. Yeah. That being said, I'm going to real quickly just speed round these the patch notes from this week, because there's actually, I'm not even going to like super get into them. I'm just going to cover one in particular. Is it even on here? I don't think it's even on here. They don't even really talk about it.
No, because it was a different thing that you had to look at. Basically, they're looking at, Legend's looking for it. They went through a lot of different things. New content drop. There's going to be lots of bugs and issues. They're going through and they're fixing stuff. Weapons that are dropping that are the right power level. Some things, like they promised that blues wouldn't drop after a certain point. That happens for some people, not for others. They're fixing things where, like, certain, like the Aeon Swifts, for example, they were missing like a gold stripe on it. Like, just weird little things. Because when a new content drop launches, a lot of stuff happens. Give it time. I mean, They disabled the 1-2 punch trait because it was super broken.
Mm-hmm.
Overload rifles and auto SMGs don't disrupt the health regeneration of overloads, and they're fixing that. There's a lot of like little things that they're going to be fixing. They're known issues.
Yeah,
they're going to be fixing it. So it just
going to be a lot of patch notes coming up right now. A lot, just because it's new. Yeah, Sniper said it. Usual Bungie, like a lot of stuff, right now. So just be patient with the patch notes.
I was expecting Telesto to be like the main problem, but it's not even on here.
Telesto's okay right now.
I'm taking it into the raid and shooting everything with it. Maybe just everything dies. Maybe while using it, Tanix jumps out again.
Listen, don't listen. Just calm down. All right.
Tanix is now a Cabal.
Do you want Tanix the Lightbearer? Because this is how you get Tanix the Lightbearer.
No, I want him as a light-bearing Screeb.
Oh my god.
Tanix comes crawling out, and he's like half Kalos robot, half scoring.
Bitches!
And then he jumps and blows up.
Oh, Tanix. Oh, you...
Bungie, no, don't take the idea.
How many times must I kill you?
It's real funny at this point. It's really like putting down a dog that keeps coming back. It's like...
but yeah, that basically covers it. Covers the whole TWAB. They got your art of the week and stuff. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna pause right here because I saw this. And
that too.
Here, right here, I'm gonna show you. Guys, I love this. Oh, whoops! I accidentally started something else on my computer. Here we go. This tattoo, like I've only got 2 tattoos, and I love this so much. That's so cool looking.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Yes, the Telesto will rise again. That's the
Telesto will rise again. But Bungie mentioned that they met their the Games to Give charity thing like really early on, so they're going to be selling this Wear TWAB shirt, which is amazing.
It is really funny.
And I'm probably actually going to pick that up because I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
We'll just get 2 copies, and every time we cover the TWAB, we're just wearing the shirt.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Man, that's good. Much love, and thank you all again for being guardians of the world. Cheers, DMG. So, that covers our TWAB.
Yeah. So honestly, when it comes down to all this, it's just, if you're planning on doing day 1, get your everything together, get your builds finalized, make sure your team is actually going to be there with a cup of coffee in their hands. Make sure you got, everything that you need to be ready for it, because you're gonna need to have some snacks, gonna need to have some drinks. Make sure you have everything ready to go beside you before this takes off, and take potty breaks. One thing I will say to everybody out there: be safe while you're doing this. Do not starve yourself. Do not take bathroom breaks. Every hour, you need to be drinking at least 8 ounces of water.
You need to get up every couple of hours and walk around.
Yeah, you have a cell phone. You can set an alarm to get some water. You can get up. Your team wipes. Like, all right, take a little lap around your room. Maybe if you're not going for the race, if you're just going to do it, don't burn yourself out. Really, it's not worth it. So many times people like die in real life, like World of Warcraft. Like people were dying because they weren't eating for the first 72 hours of the game because they wanted to be the first one to finish everything, and it happens. Don't be the statistic. Don't do that. Drink water, get up, walk around.
I don't want. Listen. I'm just being honest. If this happens to be one of you, I will make jokes about you in the future. All right? Like, I'm sorry.
We don't want to feel bad about that.
I don't do it. All right? Don't put that burden on me.
Don't make him feel bad.
Don't turn me into a terrible human being. But for real, guys, take care of yourselves.
It's meant to be a fun thing.
Yeah, and again, if you're able to do it, great. If not, then, dude, Sunday is a short time away.
And honestly, I can see in the future, I can see Legend maybe the 2 of us hosting a streamer raid run. Like maybe the 2 of us get together on one day, like, okay, we're gonna run the raid with some followers. We'll jump in there and then bang, get some stuff done.
I have a whatever you call it. I got a thing coming to where I can hook up my PlayStation.
Oh, capture card.
Capture device. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I've got one on the way. It's not going to be here in time, of course, for tomorrow, but it'll
Right.
be here sometime.
But I mean, I have one. I guess gotta get everything hooked up on it. But this could be something in the future that we can look at. Like, oh, hey, let's do a collaboration run. Let's get some people in there. There's tons of people. Like, there's gonna be people all over the tower. If you're wanting to run it, you don't have teams. People all over the tower that are gonna do it. There's gonna be people that are all up in LFG that can do it. Honestly, start something down in our Discord. If you need people to run it with you,
Seriously.
there are people that want to do it. And honestly, if you want to run it but don't really want to do the worlds first or run the race, wait till tomorrow. Yep. Wait until tomorrow after reset. It will be way easier. There's going to be video guides online because content creators, this is what they live for. They're going to be out there doing the thing, and then 24 hours later, they're going to be telling you how to do it right.
That's my whole thing about tomorrow. Like, I'm not as doing this as critically, I'll say, as Sam and the A team are doing it. So I mean, we're just kind of go for it. If we don't get it, then there's no sweat off of our back. We definitely will get something done on Sunday. You better believe that. But
you don't finish, you'll finish Sunday.
Yeah, don't sweat it and have a good time. Like that's the primary thing that I'll say is have a good time. This is such a big time of the year for us Destiny fans. And look, nobody does raids the way Bungie does raids. They don't. No one else does.
Very true.
Like,
Very true.
World of Warcraft is, like as big of a game as that is, and as big as the player base is, it's just like the storytelling elements, graphically, like, dude, you know what? Here, I'm gonna ask Sam. Sam, I want you to try and give me in detail how you were feeling whenever you went through after the second encounter on DSC, whenever you guys were going through the spacewalk.
Okay. So I guess the reason why is because I always tell the story this exact same way, right? All right. So we were doing Deepstone Crypt, right? And we were stuck on the second encounter with Adrax for about 9 hours. We finally get it, and there's just overwhelming relief that we finally got this. And it's late; it's like I think 2 or 3 in the morning, and we're like, "Oh my gosh, we have to beat this next couple encounters. We're only on encounter 2. There's 2 more to go," and we're freaking out. And then we get into the airlock, and then all of a sudden, there's this. You hear Clovis Bray start talking, and then there's just this calming, soothing, like, your shoulders kind of drop a little bit, like, "Oh my gosh." Take a minute to breathe, like to really decompress from what just was probably the hardest encounter you've ever done, to like this really, really nice, surreal, like spacewalk. When you jump, you're slightly floating. It's like this beautiful song playing in the background with just this beautiful orchestral song. It is on iTunes. You'll have to check that out. Deepstone Lullaby. I did check that out. I actually own the song. It's amazing. My son falls asleep to it. But it's an experience that they've been figuring it out and nailing it. We've talked about this a couple of times so that was my experience with that, right? I've done raids in other games. I've never done one in WoW. I've watched my brother, my cousin, and my dad do one, and it is a different story, like just how those raids work, because it's a different kind of game. When you're going into a raid that's usually like 30 people, Destiny is 6. They can compact a lot of mechanics for 6 players that other games just can't do. It feels different. There's a level of storytelling that they can convey in about 4 encounters that it would take an entire campaign to convey. They're telling a story inside a raid that will then shape the atmosphere of what they just put out a week ago. And the whole of like Beyond Light, the entire battlefield changed. Like whole missions opened up, whole new weapons opened up. There was more to do. There was more to the story. It explains more to you. It opened up new pieces for your subclass, which they said this is what's going to happen to Void as well. Finishing this raid, and whoever does the world's first, they're going to be able to do it. But then on Tuesday, or I think it's even the next day, it's going to open up. It's going to open up new stuff for everyone who plays. So it's Bungie's way of doing it ever since Forsaken has just revolutionized, in my opinion, how this should be done for storytelling's sake. they've done a lot of world building in that time, and they've been nailing their craft. And it's honestly, the hype is real. Witch Queen was super exciting, and then this is super exciting. And honestly, this is as good as it gets. Because then after this is going to be a content drought as we finish up the seasonal storyline. And yeah, because we're used to like that last season, like really just stretching as we're looking forward to the next big thing. But we're in it now. Yeah. We're here excited. It's happening tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. So
I do want to say, like, and pay attention to the throne world whenever you're hanging out, because one thing Bungie has kind of become famous for doing ever since the last Wish raid. Whenever the last Wish raid happened and the world's first completion, immediately there were changes to the Dreaming City. Following that, we had Shadowkeep, and like they didn't do too much to the moon on Shadowkeep, but there's the Vex portal that's on the moon. It was activated after they completed it for the first time, and then Vex started coming through it, and so now you go down there and there's like always Vex. During the season, it did change stuff because there was like an activity going on. I can't remember what it was, but the Vex offensive or whatever, I think is what it was called. But there was an activity and it did affect that, and it changed up some stuff on the moon, but that's been long gone. On Beyond Light, we did get the after the raid was completed, we had the Eclipse Zone added once a week. It's on a weekly rotator.
It rotates.
Yeah. There's a spot on the map that's it's called the Eclipse Zone, where there's basically more ads. There's stuff falling out of the sky.
Your super recharges faster.
Your stasis super recharges faster. And
it opened up stuff with Clovis Spray.
Yeah, opened up stuff with Clovis Spray and stuff like that. So I'm saying all of that, taking a long tangent to say something's going to happen to the Throne World after this is done too. Almost 100% guaranteed.
Which is exciting, because that's for people who don't play or don't participate in the raids. That just something else is amazing is about to happen, and you're going to get a cutscene on Tuesday explaining what happened. For those of you who actually do the raid and you're in it, or maybe you just participate afterwards, you're going to see the effects like, oh man, my team was the one that did it. We were there. We were there on day one. Like my team didn't finish day one. We finished 3 hours later, but we did it. Like everyone just needed to go pound salt for a couple hours and we came back and finished. It is what it is, but that's it. Like, to feel like you helped shape the game space. It's a feeling that you don't really get unless you spend 9 hours in an encounter and hear a beautiful song that's available on iTunes. That kind of surreal feeling only comes for, I think it's like 99 cents or $1.29. Go get it. Oh, you owe yourself.
Everybody's got $1.
Do it.
Come on. Sam, is that it for the podcast, you think? We wrapping up here?
I think so. Today's kind of a shorter one, just because, I'm going to go, cook some food real quick for myself. Got to go get ready myself, get my stuff together for the raid. Honestly, like, it's shaping up to be fun. I really hope anyone who wants to tune in tomorrow does. Both of us will be playing. Batsam42 will be streaming. At
Batsam42 on Twitch.
Yes. And then we'll be back here next Saturday to talk about how all this goes. Actually, I'll have to get back to you specifically if I can do it, because in-laws coming in town.
Oh boy. What are you doing Sunday?
This Sunday?
Yeah.
Hopefully sleeping.
Right. I was gonna say, if you want to try to get on for 30 minutes and talk about it on Sunday.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm down to do that. Cool. Let's tentatively let's shoot for around like this time now on Sunday.
Yeah.
Let's just play it by ear, because for sure I want to. I don't know if my body will let me. Just because if I'm actually up for 24 hours.
Yeah.
From 1 p.m. to 1 p.m. That's only like a 4-hour difference, so I'll be like getting a nap and then getting up to do that. I think I could pull that off, just in case. But let me play that by ear.
Right, I hear you, man. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for commenting. Don't forget to like and subscribe to both of us at YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all of that jazz, all of our socials. This has been great. This has been a fun experience, and tomorrow is a huge day, and I hope that if you go in there, I hope you're successful. But again, take your time, be patient at the same time, and just have a good time. Right?
Yes, remember that you were there with other Guardians, and everyone wants to be friends, and just enjoy yourselves. For sure. It is a game after all. At the end of the day, if you don't get Worlds first, you have next time. It's gonna be okay. Enjoy it for what it is. We get raids once a year.
Yeah.
Have a good time with it. You know what? No, let's shoot for Sunday this time, and let's do a podcast.
For sure.
Even if it's just like a short one, but let's give our thoughts on it right after.
Exactly. I'm down.
So,
all right, guys. Well, you know me. Godspeed, my friends.
See you.